Good morning. Just finished my morning routine, which consists of prayer and meditation, and then I jump on my recovery meeting and a workout. And I set an intention last night to get up at 5:30, do the workout, the prayer, the meditation, and then jump on my recovery meeting, and then get ready for this amazing business planning clinic we're having today. But I was tired, and I wanted to stay in bed for an extra hour, so I did. And I got up at 6:30, and I was going to push my workout off, but the thought occurred to me, why don't I just work out, jump on the Peloton, do the workout while your recovery meeting is going on, listen, jump in, share, do what you have to do. I don't have to put off my routine. I can adjust on the fly if I have to. And, in my meditations, when I come out of my meditations, these thoughts come up and they start to flow in such a beautiful direction. And I just don't want to keep them in my head. I want to share them so that at the very least I can look back at them at times when I may be struggling. And hopefully there's no one out there struggling, but I know that there are. And if this resonates with you, then great. In a past life, I was a Navy hospital corpsman. I enlisted during the first Desert Shield, and originally I wanted to go to the Marines, but my uncle, who was a Marine in Vietnam, said, don't go to the Marines, go to the Navy. If you want to get involved in the fight, become a Navy corpsman, because you can go out there and save lives. And my ego was like, awesome, I could win medals and save lives. And those of you who know, that war was over quickly, so by the time I got out of my corpsman boot camp, really, it was over. But I signed and I swore an oath to go out in the field and create safe spaces, to go out in the field and do whatever it takes to serve the troops so that, they can continue the fight. I mean, that's the triage in battlefield medicine is, as long as you can go out there, the idea is to get them up to fight. It's different than it would be in the civilian world. And, you have these stations set up out in the battlefield. You have these stations set up out at sea where when soldiers come in from the battle, it's a safe space. It's where they come to heal. It's where they come to tend to their wounds. And never once do we tell them, oh, you got shot or you got hurt or, something happened out there. Never once do we make them feel like it was their fault. The whole goal is to create a safe space. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and on the MREI podcast, and the gentleman on the podcast said was trauma begins when you feel safe, or the trauma comes out when you feel safe. I'm paraphrasing it. And it's so true, because when you're out there, or when you're in the fray, when you're out there doing the stuff, whether it be, whatever it is. Listen, agents, you're out there doing the stuff, and it's tough out there. I'm not saying it's a battlefield. I would not disrespect the troops like that, but you are going out there and you are, trying to feed your families and trying to, sustain a life, and it's tough. And, my first video talked about, being that serenity in the face of calamity, and it just kind of extends to creating that safe space, because I want my agents to come to the office. I want them to come into the office, whether they're coming in victory because they took a lot of listings or saved, helped a lot of families or impacted a lot of lives. I want to come in and I want to celebrate that, and that's amazing. But what's more important in honesty is I want them to be able to come in and say, hey, I'm struggling. I'm vulnerable out there. I'm having a hard time, and I want them to feel like this is a safe space. I want them to feel like the office is someplace you can come and say, all right, I'm ready to embrace the trauma of what I'm going through out there. However big or little it is, it's important to you. And if it's important to you, it's important to me. And, if myself and my leadership team can create that environment where you come in and you sit down and you say, I took some hits out there, and we take a look at the hits, and we perform some emergency field medicine in the form of systems and models. And if we sit down and we look at it, we find the gaps and we fortify the vulnerabilities, and we rearm you with new tools and new ammunition to go out there and do what you have to do. That's what it's all about. And maybe we can maybe we can limit the level or the amount of trauma that you feel in this market, in this world, because there's a lot of things going on right now that impact, and there's a lot of fear on both sides of the table when it comes to real estate. I know that buyers and sellers have concerns, and real estate agents have concerns, and we're operating in this environment of frenetic energy. And my goal and my aim today and every day is to create a culture in the office where you can come in, you can put your laptop down, you can take a breath, you can feel everything you need to feel, you can sit with us, we can dive into what's working and double down or triple down on that, find out what's not working and shore it up, or find another way to go, so that you can go out there and you can continue to do what you do to feed your family, grow your business, create your legacy, with the least amount of trauma. So, if this resonates to any of you, feel free to come into my office. Even if you're not part of our group, man, you can come in if you're having a hard time. You need to get out of the rain or get out from the heat for a while and sit down and just have a conversation. You can come in and say, hey, listen, I don't want to join your office, but man, I'd love to have a conversation because I'm struggling out there. I know there's a lot of you out there who feel like you're on an island. I will respect where you're at, but I will jump into that hole with you and I'll have the conversations and we'll get into a solution together. So, hope all is well. Namaste. Have a great day. See you out there.